Hi, fellow traders. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Sorry, but no rolling with Ed this weekend. We have a winter storm coming through. The weather's been really nasty the last couple of days, so I'm going to be smart and not get out there on the road. I'm going to stay dry and warm up here in this house. So, I figured I'd do my little weekly chat here in my office. I've got my Christmas tree right here behind my desk, and this is a real nice calming effect. I probably wish I could have this thing all year round. Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I tend to go all out or a little bit overboard in decorating sometimes, but it really helps calm me, keeps me centered, and just kind of lets me know what this is all about. Helps remind me what everything I do is all about. So I don't want to start out by saying I told you so, but I told you so. If you listen to what we talked about last week in reference to the market bouncing and how, we started making gains last week because there was some positive sentiment over the trade talks and that we were going to get a trade deal done. And I said, reality, it's going to take months, if not a year, in order to actually get a legitimate trade deal done. And I think everybody kind of realized that, or started thinking the same thing I was thinking, and that, hey, this was just a truce. This doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that there's a deal done. There hasn't been any agreements. It's just that, hey, we're not going to beat up on each other for 90 days. And so when people realize that, I think we lost some wind under our sails and it started to slip. Then there was this CFO from this Chinese tech company that got busted for violating some trade agreements between China and the U.S. So that didn't help. And then there was this deal with the what was that? Treasury notes. I'm sorry, didn't mean to take that long, but sometimes I can't remember half of what I was thinking. And I think there was some discrepancy between the 3-year and the 5-year Treasury note. It created some type of inverted yield curve. That means that, we could be losing some steam. I think that might have spooked some people. I don't follow it, but because I think more investors, longer-term investors, follow that. But it's important to me because it helps bring that volatility that we've been missing for a long time in the market. And it's just been great. So last week, we actually lost the gains that we made the week before. I think it was, 4.6% or something that we gained back last week. We just lost it this week. So we ended right where we ended losing the gains that we made the week before. If you were in the watch list / strategy session that we do on Sundays, you guys got to see my analysis on the chart. We are sitting on a longer term ascending support level. Last week we were looking at the shorter term one. We actually cracked through that, and now we're on the longer term support, ascending support. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens going into next week. I know if we lose that support, we can come down into the low 250s. I mean, it could keep going. I don't think it will do that because, obviously there's probably some people that will do what they can to hold the market up. But, we'll see. Just some other things that of note. The jobs report came out. That looks pretty good. even though the job growth is slowing, unemployment is still remaining in record low levels. So that's great. But I think the next thing that's going to come about is the wages. You know, that's something that we're going to have to look at going forward. Also, the OPEC decided to cut back on some of the oil production, which I think is going to help boost the economy. However, it's bad for us because the gas price is going to go up. You know, we were just enjoying this weekend where gas prices were less than $2, which was, you know, amazing. But I know next week and on through Christmas is going to continue to go up. But what I'm looking at for this week in the market is really going to depend on whether we lose that ascending support. If you go to FinViz and type in the SPY, you'll see that ascending support I'm talking about. So it just has it right there as clear as day. And if we lose that, then I think we're going to come on down into the low 250s and possibly even beyond, you know, if they let it go. So that's my 2 cents worth of market analysis. It's funny, those 2 cents have been paying off real good the last couple of weeks. You know, I don't want to blow my horn too soon, but you know, I think the longer we do this, the more we understand what big money does, how they operate, and the more we can do that, the better and the more successful we're going to be in, you know, our profession here. Okay, so the question that I'm going to answer this week, I may get to answer 2 questions, but this is one question that I get a lot. The different degrees of how it's answered, how it's asked, but what I did was just kind of put all of the questions like it together, so that I can make one good answer and it might make a little bit of sense for everybody. So one of the questions that I get is, you know, why don't I have any moderators that may call out trades, or, you know, that may trade a different strategy than me, that y'all guys may find useful. In order for you to understand my philosophy on this, I kind of got to take you back a bit. You know, it's no secret I used to work for another community. I worked with guys there, and when I was there, I worked with a lot of the newer traders who were just starting out and that were trying to get this thing figured out. And I realized early on that these guys really needed the same thing I needed when I started. Because when I started learning, I needed to see these trades happen live. I needed to see somebody actually doing it for real. And nobody was there. Nobody was doing that. I couldn't log on and join anybody and watch them trade live. Now, there were some that showed videos of live trades, but they were edited, they were voiced over, and it's very difficult to get a good feel for how a trade is going. Because when you voice over it, you already know what's going to happen. And then they can pick and choose what trades. And, you know, the ones that we truly learn from are the ones that don't work, or that don't work perfectly. So I needed something that was going to help me learn how to execute these trades. And that's what I wanted to give. So I got this site. I got on this site that allowed me to stream my platform live so that you guys can actually see what I was doing. Because, you know, another thing was early on, I actually started thinking that, hey, you can't day trade for a living. This is a scam. You know, I don't see anybody doing it. You know, no, I see people saying that they done it. I I see people posting trades after the fact, but I need to see somebody do it day in and day out. And so that's why I decided to start streaming. But the people I was working with at the time didn't think it was a good idea, or they didn't like it. I liked it. The people I worked with liked it. Everybody wanted it, but they didn't. So, you know, at that time, I just decided, hey, I can't compromise my beliefs and my values. You know, I know what I want to do. I know how I want to help people. And that's how I started this Average Joe Trading. I want to show you guys that it can be done, how it has to be done. I know there are other ways that you can do it, but I don't know of anybody else that's actually showing you, other than just saying, hey, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. It's ridiculous. You know, why would you keep following something that just doesn't work, or that you can't connect with? It doesn't make sense. You'll never get to where you want to be if you can't connect to it. It's just like guys that join me. You know, if they can't connect to me, they're not going to make it. So, you know, I wanted to make it to where you guys can connect with me. You could actually see what I'm doing. You can experience what I'm doing. Because it's too easy to manipulate and make people think what you want them to think when you're not being 100% transparent. Take Friday is a good example. You know, I took a humongous loss Friday. And the very first trade. And it was some confusion. It's not something that happens all the time. But I kind of didn't do what I was supposed to do because I was running late. Didn't verify some stuff. Ended up taking a $1,200 loss. Now, I didn't know it was that big at the time because I don't watch my P&L. I don't look at my P&L. But, you know, imagine if I had done that off camera and I wasn't streaming anything. I was just telling you what I was doing. I could hide that loss and you would never know what happened. And at the end of the day, I could show the $1,200 trades that I made that equal $1,200 plus the other one on TVIX, and I could say, hey, I had a $1,500 day. You wouldn't know the difference. That's not what I want to do. That's not fair to you guys, and that doesn't teach you a damn thing. Okay, and like I said before, there are a lot of people that just want to be connected with winners. They could care less if they ever make a dime, but just to say that they're a part of this group that says they make all this money is enough for them. Those aren't the people I want to work with. You know, they can stay doing what they want, do that. I want to work with people who actually want to learn how to trade, that want to grow out of their job and be something. So I'm showing you every day, step for step, for the last 2 years, I've shown you how to grow your small account step by step. And yeah, even in this case, a lot of people quit. You know, a lot of people are like, I need to go faster than this, or, you know, this doesn't make sense. Okay, fine. I hope you found what you were looking for. I hope you're making money now. But that's not how I want to do things. That's not why I'm doing this. So I know I went a long way around just to answer a simple question. But the reason why I don't have other moderators is because they can't show anything they do real time. And I don't advocate people calling out trades that are moderators that are part of a community, just calling trades out without actually showing what they're doing. You know, for me, and you know my philosophy, you know, believe, you know, none of what you hear and only half of what you see. because you have to, what you're seeing, you're going to have to qualify to make sure that, hey, is this actually right? You know, so when you're seeing a trade happen real time, I'm going to be more apt to believe it versus somebody showing me a video later on after the fact. So, you know, that's why I do things the way I do. Now, yeah, I have guys that help, that'll stream their scans while I'm not there. They volunteer to help me out because I don't charge enough to pay somebody full time to do anything. You know, this is just me. When you come in to be a part of my community, to learn what I do, how I trade, and, you know, how I got to where I am. You're coming to see my model of success, not anybody else's. That's the way I look at it. At some point, there may be a time where, you know, we have somebody or a separate room where you can watch somebody trade small caps and stuff. But until we can stream, or I get somebody that's willing to stream their platform live, you know, it's not going to happen. And I honestly don't know too many people that are willing to do that. You know, it's too much of a risk. If you're in this business to make a living, it's too much of a risk to stream live. Because sometimes you make yourself look like a fool. And you know I've done that many times. But we're all going to do it. It's part of what we do in this industry. It's part of our learning process. And you guys need to see how to handle it when it happens. So that's my philosophy on that. So I hope that answers your question as to why I don't have any mentors, why it's just me. And why I keep it small is because that's the way I want it. I want to be able to answer every email. I want to be able to work with everybody that wants to work with me. You know, I don't want to get so big that I don't have time and I have to pay somebody to be me. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work in this industry. This Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning, we are having another free live day trading webinar. If you want to see what live trading looks like, come on in, check us out right here on my YouTube channel, starting at about 8:30. I take you through my process that I start each day with. We'll talk about the strategy that I use in the morning, and if there's a secondary trade, you know, we'll talk about that strategy as well. So just come in live, unscripted, you know, whatever happens, happens. But you get to spend a morning in the life of a day trader. So make sure you come check us out. Also, I've got a 2019 Will Be Mine special. This is where you get 1 month, I give you another month free. And you come in and join me live every day as I teach. You know, I'm going to talk about the skills, the strategies, everything that you need to be profitable, consistent, and to grow your account. That's what I do. It's what I've done for the last several years, and I've done it over and over and over again. So come check it out. You get, as a member, you get access to the Average Joe Trading Education Community, the live trading chat room, all of the live education webinars that we do, access to the weekly market analysis / swing trade watch list session that I do every Sunday morning. I do record those for those guys that don't make it. Access to the member education videos, all of the ones that I have on the site. I don't even know how many they are. You know, I kind of quit counting. Plus, you get 1 hour of one-on-one mentoring with me, one session, to get you ready for 2019. You know, 2019 is going to be our year. We're going to make it happen. And it's going to be the start of something new, something big, and something exciting in our lives. So just keep telling yourself 2019 will be mine. So you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll get back at this thing first thing Monday morning, provided we don't get iced over and all of the lines and stuff are down. Other than that, we will be here ready to go. So you guys take care, and I'll see you in the morning.